All right, welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of the 2315 Sports Show. On episode 11, uh, last week we did our episode 10, which is more about us. So now we're jumping right back into more about sports because, let's face it, I'm sure nobody wants to hear more about us any more than they have to. So this week we're going to kind of do, like the title says, we're going to do the ultimate rebuild. We're both going to take our stabs at rebuilding our favorite NFL teams because both of them are in kind of a funk. Me being the Chicago Bears, Ethan being the New England Patriots. We've been in a funk. The Patriots is kind of a new territory for them for a long time. So, but first, again, not really a news segment per se. To be honest, we had to film kind of 2 episodes on the same day the week prior because I will be not around my setup. So for the next week. So that is why we're kind of doing it a little different these 2 weeks. But surely following this week, we should be back live on next Friday, which is the 15th, I believe. So somewhere in there. So first, we'll go into NFL free agent predictions. And I know, Ethan, you got a list. So we'll just start going down it and predicting where we think these players are going to go before getting into the rebuild section.
Yeah. And some of these may change before this episode
probably
airs next Friday. Some of these players could be franchise tagged. They could have got extensions with their current teams. But just where we're at and what we're thinking is just where we think they're going to be. So the number one free agent out there is defensive tackle Chris Jones.
Okay.
Where do you think he's going to end up, or will he re-sign in KC?
I do not. I don't think he'll be back. Not because of bad blood or anything from this past one. I don't think it'll be any. I mean, they won the Super Bowl, so how bad of blood could you have?
Right.
I just think, and he's probably coming up later in our show. I think there's another player there that is a little more important than he is, which is kind of weird to say because he is a generational defensive guy. So I do not think he comes back unless he himself takes less money to do it, which I don't think so. The number one team I could think of right offhand, and I'm one that's not going into the money factor because I don't know everyone's cap space or anything like that. I think I'm going to put him on Houston. The Houston Texans.
Yeah.
I think that's where he's going to go.
Yeah, that's a very good option for them, in which I'm in agreement with you that he's going to leave KC because somebody's going to throw a bag at him. And
yes,
is he willing to take $30-40 million less in total to win championships, or is he ready to finally secure the bag and be financially set, which he's obviously already is, but to be set for life, generational money. In which I think he's going to chase the money. Top 3 teams he could go. Yeah. And top 3 teams I think he could go to are Cincinnati. They need some help defensively, but I'm not sure how much cap space they have. He's going to take a little bit of a discount to go there to win. But in that case, why not just stay? But
yeah, you're right.
Detroit is another team.
They've
got some space. They could use some D-line help, get them over that hump. But that could be huge. Him and Aiden Hutchinson together could wreak havoc.
Monstrous.
But the number one team I think he's going to go to, they're going to throw a massive bag at him. I seen 4-year, $115 million is an option for him. It's the Houston Texans. I think that's where he's going to go. D'Amico Ryans, they need some veteran leadership, but also to help that young defense grow. That's the number one team. It's where he's going to go. I don't think there's a real question about it. It's where he's going to end up. multi-year deal. He's going to help that team get over the hump and really challenge KC. So
Okay. Interesting.
So we both got Houston for Chris Jones.
Yes.
All right. Number 2 free agent is Kirk Cousins. I know we're we talked about it earlier, is he going to get a major payday coming off of injury at 34, 36 years old, somewhere in between there?
He's up there. 35 maybe. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think he wants to stay in Minnesota. His family's there. They love it there. But I think with the draft coming up, this team's going to strike out in the draft. You don't want to reach for a quarterback. I think Atlanta makes too much sense.
Okay.
I think they're going to throw a lot of money at him, $45 million a year, and he fully guaranteed, and he's not going to pass it up to play with that talented of an offense. So I think he ends up in Atlanta.
I like that. I think Minnesota needs him to sign back, because if he doesn't, they're going to lose 2. They're going to lose him, and they're going to lose Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
110%, which I would not blame Justin Jefferson at all. Like, that's a wasted talent there if he stays. So I'm going to say he's going to sign back, because this is the first time he's been hurt pretty much ever. So I don't know if they're going to throw that bag at him, though. So that would be the only downfall. My option 1A, I guess. Personally, I think it might be Denver, and Denver's getting rid of Russell Wilson, because there's already a tiff there between the coach and Russell Wilson. It's not going to be fixed. And you bring in Kirk Cousins, who isn't an attitude guy. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league, if not the, because he's had some crazy stats. He's played outside in Washington, so that's not a big deal for the cold and all that. And Denver on the offensive side has some weapons. So if they can get the ball, you watch out. So that would be my 1A, but I think he'll stay in Minnesota.
Okay.
I think no matter what the money situation is. I think, kind of like you said, the family's there. It's he don't need money. And I don't know, I think he'll stay.
Yeah. Good call there. So number 3, we got Josh Allen, defensive end, Jaguars.
I was like, Josh Allen, are you serious? Okay, I got you.
Josh Allen.
Yep. I'm not too familiar with this guy. I mean, I've heard of him, obviously, just because of Josh Allen tackling Josh Allen. That's the only thing I've heard from this kid. I think he's pretty decent. I'm going to be crazy and just be stupid on this one. He doesn't sign back and the Jags, and he confuses everyone and goes to Buffalo, and they have Josh Allen on offense and Josh Allen on defense, just for shits and giggles.
That's
wild. What I got on that kid. No offense to that kid. Wild. I just don't know. I don't know a lot about him. So
yeah. Well, let me educate you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Kentucky boy.
Okay.
In 17 sacks this past year.
Oh,
elite pass rusher.
Okay. So Buffalo could use him.
Yes, he's going to secure a major bag.
Okay.
4-year, 5-year, 100 to 125 million.
Okay.
As
everything.
So I think he's going to get the tag more than likely.
Okay.
Going to get the tag and then reach an agreement. They're not going to let him walk. No way.
Okay.
He was their number 4 pick overall a few years back.
So he's legit. That's shame on me for not knowing who this kid is.
Hey, it's all right.
I still think it's fun.
Like you said before.
They cut Von Miller. They cut some other players.
Yeah.
And he's going to Buffalo, and they're going to have Josh Allen on both. So
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But I mean, I don't blame you because last week you said that you like football, but you're
yeah,
not a
I'm not a
diehard follower. So
no.
I won't blame
No.
you at all.
I knew who he
Uh,
was. I know like he played for the Jags. I just didn't know he was that good. So that's on
yeah,
me, I guess.
all good. So this other guy you may not know either.
Uh-oh.
Brian Burns, defensive end, the Panthers.
So again, heard of the name. The only reason I knew he was on the Panthers because again, going back on last week, you Snapchatted me a picture of this list, so it disappears. So I saw Brian Burns, and I looked at the NFL free agents before this week, and I saw his name, and I knew he played for the Panthers. So in that case, just based off of those slim details, and he plays what now? I'm sorry, what position?
He's an edge rusher.
Edge. So okay,
Same as outside linebacker.
same as Josh Allen, then kind of
Yeah.
same guy, same concept. He's not signing back with the Panthers, and that's just based off the Panthers being the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm going to say who would need a edge? And okay, give me like a ballpark. Is he a big signing like the pass guy or moderate?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
okay.
the number four overall free agent, I believe.
Okay, so he's gonna get big money.
Yeah. So let me for some context. Last
Mhm.
year, not this past season, but the season before, at the trade deadline, the Rams offered like 3 first-round picks for him, and they turned
Okay.
it down. So he's legit.
So
And
based
he's
on
young.
that, he's going to the Rams. The Rams are going to sign him.
Okay.
And I think I don't want to say it. I almost bet Donald might be done, or he might take less and then get it later. However they do it in the NFL, kind of like they do in baseball.
Yeah.
For the next generation of defensive guy for that team. So I'll go there. I'll go with the Rams.
Okay.
Blindly.
Good move there because so they'll sign when Donald's up, he'll sign a huge signing bonus, and the rest of it will just be salary. So for Burns, for me, I've got him going to Washington. They need edge rusher to replace Sweat and Chase Young.
Yep.
I don't really understand why I traded them when they're going to need more and they're going to pay more.
Yes.
It confuses me, but whatever. Yeah. I'm not a GM. So I think Washington. It's an easy fit to slide in there, especially with Dan Quinn being their head coach now.
Yep.
Next one is Antoine Winfield, safety for the
Bucks. Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to get the tag. I think he's going to get the tag more than likely. They have a ton of free agents. They just cut Shaquille Barrett, Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, Levante David, Devin White, Antoine Winfield. Winfield he was a rookie, Tom Brady's first year there. No chance they let him walk out the door. He's too good of a player, and they need a defensive building block, and he's that guy.
Okay. So I'm gonna play this like everyone's leaving or staying.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your lead on it, but I'm gonna say he signs the deal with them to be there long term. Whatever they need to do. I say he stays with the Bucks, like you said, but they give him like he's the deal. Like they're gonna sign him to whatever that means. So
yeah, give him a big deal. Mm-hmm. All right. Staying on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of defenders we start sliding the offense pretty soon. But big name defense end for the Vikings, Danielle Hunter.
Yep. I think he goes to the Bears.
Yeah,
because they've already kind of. I don't want to say they say that he's going there, but he's a favorite for there. So I think to be on the line with Sweat, I think he's a good fit too.
Yeah.
So I think he goes to the Bears.
Yeah. So that's what I've got him into the Bears. It's easy. That's the easy slot in there. So I'll just keep it moving. Mike Evans, best wide receiver, would have been T. Higgins, but Higgins got the tag. So Mike Evans, where you got him going?
See, I think he's another one that relies. I think he's going to wait it out, even though he said he wants to be a Buck for life. I don't know as he'll be a Buck if Baker's not back, because I mean he's been through bad quarterbacks already, and he did very well.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he wants to do that at the end of his career when things are going to start tailing off. So
Yeah.
if this one's going to be like a catalyst. If they sign Baker, he comes back. If they don't, he goes to the Chiefs. 100%.
Nasty.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
No, I get it.
win-win for both.
Yeah.
Like
I get it.
they need a wide receiver, and what better wide receiver than a guy that's got 1,000 yards every year that he's been in the league and hasn't slowed down, really.
And I like hot take. If he signs with Kansas City, that's the best wide receiver Mahomes has ever played with.
Yes.
Like, I got Mike Evans over Tyreek Hill. I like Hill, but he's a burner.
Yep.
Like,
that's all
he's got okay route running. I'd want him on my team, but
yeah.
if I'm picking an overall career, like Mike Evans is it. So
yep. And he's big.
Yes.
And big won't ever leave. Feet will leave, route running will leave. 6'6" never leaves.
Yeah.
So he's going to be your red zone guy no matter what. So definitely the Chiefs.
Yeah, I love Mike Evans. Probably my favorite player in the league right now. I've been a fan of him since the A&M days because I'm a huge Johnny fan. So
that's right.
Gotta love Mike. I've argued with people for years that he's, a top 5 receiver in the league, and
he is.
People are like, oh, he's inconsistent, which he may have games with no catches or 1 catches, but he's the guy.
He still gets 1,000 yards in a year.
Yeah, and he's not going to get a huge contract. He may get 3 years max, but most teams are going to offer him a 2. I think there's lots of teams that make sense. Detroit's a team that makes a lot of sense.
That'd be scary.
For me, the obvious place, they need a number 1. You've got the money. You're going to have a young quarterback more than likely.
Uh-oh.
He's going to the New England Patriots.
That'll make your day.
2-year, $50 to $55 million deal. I think he gets it easily. I just like the fit. It's for me. It's a fit thing. We're going to need. We need a number 1.
You're getting a Patriots jersey of Mike Evans that day.
Yeah. And then I also, my wife, it's Mike Evans is her favorite player, and she's already told me as soon as they sign him, you're getting me a Mike Evans jersey. I was like, rock on, let's go. So Mike Evans to the Patriots is my choice.
Okay,
it's a lock. So big name for you here, Jalen Johnson, the corner from Chicago.
So yes, and I think he stays. They offer him whatever he wants. Like they have the money to do it, and they're going to do it. No question about it. They're not letting him walk. He's the best corner that they've probably ever had since Tillman. And I believe they let Eddie Jackson go, and I think this is why, because they got to, he can do everything. So
give him the bag. Move on.
They got to make room for him, and that's the way to do it. So they're going to sign him for sure.
And I've got him staying. It's simple. You need secondary help. He's the best guy. He's going to be the best corner. Yeah, he's the best corner available because outside of L'Jarius Sneed, who's they said is going to get the tag. Like, he's not going nowhere. So I think he goes back to Chicago. If they can't work out a long-term deal, he's getting the tag by the deadline. So he's back no matter what.
Yep.
Another guy that is the next guy is defensive free agent Devin White. I like Devin White. He's been a little bit of a cancer in Tampa lately. They said he doesn't do his job. He freelances a little bit. So I think he's going to get a lower end contract, but a team that I think makes too much sense is the Bears again.
Okay.
More defensive help. You've got Tremaine Edmonds, who you signed from the Bills last year. I like him, but to get another linebacker in there who's an athletic freak, who can be your second, third best linebacker, is Devin White. Give him a 1 year, $5 million, $6, $7 million, whatever you got to do, get him on the field in Chicago.
I could see that. I can see him signing a 1 year. I don't think Chicago will give him more just because of the stories. And Chicago won't put up with that. Like, you're for the team or you're for nothing. So I could see it. I might go a little different there. How different? I don't know offhand. Because I really don't. I don't know where else he would go. So Chicago might be the answer for a year. I'll kind of copycat you on that one, I think. Because he's not going to be back in Tampa. So
right. All right. So we'll speed run through some of these receivers. They're lower names, not really lower names, but I think I got 4 receivers. We'll just go through real quick. First one, Michael Pittman for the Colts. Where you got?
He stays a Colt, I think.
Yep, same. I got him staying with the Colts. I don't think they're going to let him walk. He's too good. He's their number one. He's got to stay. Calvin Ridley, Jaguars.
Honestly?
Yeah.
The Bears.
The Bears. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good fit because Mooney's a free agent too, isn't he?
Yep. And I don't want him. So
yeah, no. I've got him staying with the Jaguars.
I could see that
getting his feet wet in that system. I think he's gonna come back, be the full number one with Christian Kirk. Hollywood Brown. He was with the Cardinals this past year.
I guess stays. I don't even know what he's done. So yeah. I'm assuming he stays.
He's been a little bit unreliable with his hands. With Baltimore, they traded him.
Yep.
Arizona, they're going to need wide receiver help. So he's got to stay. I think they're going to throw money at him as well, and he's going to stay. And then last wide receiver, Gabe Davis from Buffalo.
I don't think he's back in Buffalo.
Me neither.
I think if it's not both, I almost think both of them are going to leave. But I think he leaves. And I think he goes to I think this is the Mike Evans safety if Mike Evans goes to Tampa. If Mike Evans stays in Tampa, Kansas City gets Gabe Davis. He goes to the rival. If Mike Evans leaves and goes to Kansas City, I would almost think they switch spots. Gabe Davis goes to the Bucs.
Okay.
Just to have a wide receiver.
Yeah, which I like. I know the Bucs, they're in cap hell right now, so that's why they're trying to scramble a little bit. But I do like Gabe Davis to go there. I never really put 2 and 2 together with him going to Kansas City because I know they just, cut Valdez Scantling for $12 million, so they could go after Gabe. But I think he is going to be the second highest paid receiver in the class, and Carolina wants Mike Evans. They need a true number one to go beside Adam Thielen, but they're not getting Mike Evans.
No,
and so I think Gabe Davis goes to Carolina
the money.
on a pretty hefty deal, 20 mil plus.
Yeah, I
So
like that.
I think that's where he's going to end up. Um, so we've got those, and then going back to the defensive side of the ball, Chase Young.
So this one's interesting. I does he get a major bag for this, or does he sign like a 1 or 2 year deal? Because I don't know if he's worth. I don't know if he's worth top defensive player pay just yet.
Yeah,
Um, I honestly, because the Bears were in on him again, I could see them offering him like a 1 or 2 to go back with Sweat on each side.
plus
Um,
Hunter, or if they strike out on Hunter.
if they strike out on Hunter, I think
Okay.
Hunter's kind of a lock. If he leaves Minnesota to come to the Bears, it just seems that way. Um, However, if it's not the Bears, he might. I don't think he goes back to the 49ers on a 1 year or 2 year deal because I don't know if they can afford it. Houston on a 1 year deal.
Houston on a 1 year deal,
Yep.
which I like that. I like Chase Young, but I'm in the same region as you. I think getting getting somewhere where he's a good scheme fit and to be able to prove it, he's got to prove it. He's not at
Yeah.
a place where he can get 20 million a year. He may
Nope.
get 12. So I think for him, best fit, hard nosed defensive coach, good rusher on the or great rusher on the other side. Detroit. Detroit
Mm,
makes a whole lot of sense. Get
okay.
another young pass rusher. They've got two young defensive team. They're they're ready to compete. So I think he's a missing piece for them.
I like
I
that.
like him going to Detroit. So
I could also see
last,
him like as an honorable mention, Pittsburgh to
mm,
go on the side of TJ.
they've got a ton of
Yeah.
good talent on that. Didn't they?
Yep.
Cameron Hayward, Alex Highsmith, and TJ Watt. If they could add Chase Young to that,
Yes. On a
that
1
defense
year
is
deal.
already good enough.
Like
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So we'll go one more, and then we'll rattle off running backs
Okay.
because running backs are like super iffy. But the last big name, I don't even know if you really classify as big name, but Baker Mayfield.
Tampa.
Yeah,
Full
and I
confidence.
think I
I
think
think he earned it.
that's yeah, that's easy. He's played well,
Yep.
and
I don't think they can afford to
it's
let him go.
it's an easy fit. And with new offense coordinator Liam Cohen coming in,
Hmm.
I think he'll fit well there.
I agree.
Yep. So all we got left, we got three running backs,
Okay.
all big name guys.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley, number one.
I don't think he signs back.
No, no
Um,
chance.
I think the relationship's gone. Um, I running backs are so hard.
Yeah, they are.
Because he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get a lot of money.
Yeah, he'll get
Um,
10 to 12.
I don't know if it would work, but I think I hate to say it to be a homer, but I mean, you said this. I almost wonder about the Bears.
Yeah.
Um, it's either them or Tennessee to get younger, besides
Okay.
Derrick Henry, and just different. Still a big name, so he draws people. Um, but Tennessee, I think,
Tennessee.
might do it.
Okay. I like that. That's a little something different. I like
Hmm.
Saquon Barkley. I think he's probably the best running back in the class. I like him going to the Bears a lot. It makes
Hmm.
sense. I like Herbert, but giving the two bouncing off each other and then the
Yeah,
rookie y'all
exactly.
had this year, like it's good. It's a good fit.
Hmm.
That's I don't know. It's hard to say. I do like that. Is he going to want to go to a team where he's not guaranteed contention though?
Exactly.
That's the hard thing. I know he said he thought it'd be cool to play in the Chargers, but the money not going to work.
Nope.
So I think it's between two teams. I think it's between the Bears and the Texans. The Texans have quite a bit of
Yep.
cap space. They're already going to get Chris Jones more than likely. So we've got him on some teams, but I think there's some players joining the team. But I think Barkley's the guy. Chris Singletary, Devin Singletary, he's a free agent, so filling
makes
his
sense.
space, giving CJ Stroud
Yeah.
a reliable back would be
Yep.
great for his career. So I think he's going to Houston as well.
Nice.
Next is Derrick Henry, the king.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Lock it.
There's big names: Dallas, Miami, Baltimore.
Dallas.
I think he likes. That's what I'm thinking, but I'm gonna say Miami just to be switch
different.
it up a little bit.
He wants Miami, but I don't think Miami needs him.
They
be
got
honest.
Mostert, like unless
And
you're gonna
they're-
play both of them, which you
and
can.
a Kane kid.
Oh yeah.
So I think Dallas. Dallas messed up with Zeke.
Yeah.
I think a little bit, and they're gonna get it back with him, and that will take a ton of pressure off Dak. A ton. For sure.
So I like that pick. I like Dallas. So Josh Jacobs.
See, all right, I'm not gonna play my hand here. Even though that might be a hint. I'm gonna say he stays.
Yeah. I think he will too.
Stays on a long-term deal.
He wants to play for Antonio Pierce.
And Pierce wants him. So
yeah, they're in a good space. I think he stays.
Yep.
Last one on the list is Austin Eckler.
So I don't think he signs back. Mainly one there in kind of like cap hell, like you said about some other teams. And also Jim Harbaugh there, I'd almost wonder if he'd make a play for Blake Corum because he'll be cheaper. So Austin Eckler, I think, goes to Denver.
Okay. Yep. That's what
with either Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson. Either one. Doesn't matter. Denver.
He was the one that I was the most like, I have no clue where he can go. So it's really hard for me. But I think the best fit for him is where he doesn't have to play 3 downs. He doesn't have to take 75 snaps a game. He can take 30. And I think with all their running back free agents, I think the best fit for him is Kansas City. Clyde Edwards-Helaire's a free agent. Jerick McKinnon's a free agent. You got Isaiah Pacheco. But Pacheco's good in the pass game. He's good in the run game. But to give him a spell, Austin Eckler. Eckler's young. He's still good. But he's not the work horse anymore. So let him eat a little. Yeah. And I think it's a good fit. So, and he can play in the slot as well. So when they need a big catch, put him and Pacheco out there together.
Yeah.
So I like it. He can take the Jerick McKinnon role. So other than that is the last free agent that I have on the list.
That is it. All right, that was a big segment. I like it. We'll see what happens. So into our second, we'll kind of go through this probably a little quickly. We're gonna go into the rebuild scenario. So on the bottom line, I guess I'll go first because I'm not dealing with any money or anything like that. I'm also not being unrealistic either in mind. So I have 2. I'll run them both by you and see. Pretty much it all revolves around the first pick. The first scenario or rebuild that I'm going to do is is probably more likely than the second.
Okay.
The first one is They're going to draft Caleb Williams first. They're going to keep it. They're going to trade Fields and the number 9 to you, the Patriots, with maybe a second. Throw a second in there too. Yeah, I don't care. Swap seconds or whatever you want to do. I personally don't give a shit. And they're going to go get Marvin Harrison Jr. at 3.
Okay.
And then we're going to have Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams. We're going to build the line from there on out. Whoever it is, I'm not going to go through those because I'm not going to know those picks, obviously. So that's the draft. The free agents, I don't know if there's any offensive linemen out there that are worth a damn. But sign one of them if there is, because we have the money. I think they do sign a wide receiver. Another one, honestly. Actually, no, take that back. If we get Marvin Harrison in the first scenario, we don't go get a wide receiver. We go get a running back, and we go get Josh Jacobs. Okay. Now, with that, I think it might be a sign and trade type deal with Jacobs, that we give a little back to the Raiders for killing them, or them kind of killing us on the Mac trade too. We do it again, but with Josh Jacobs. So in that case, we'd have Caleb Williams, Josh Jacobs, DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr. Nice. And then we build the defense. We give Jalen Johnson whatever he wants. I don't care whatever he wants. We get that Daniil Hunter. Sweat signed his, so we're good there. And then we might go get like one of the smaller corners. Other ones, whoever that would be. So that's my first scenario.
Okay.
The second scenario, which is what I hope, I would hope would happen, honestly. We either trade the first pick or use the first pick on Marvin Harrison Jr. If we traded it, we're getting a shitload for it. Like, it's going to have to blow everyone away, which might happen again. I don't think that's going to happen this year because people are going to see what happened to Carolina last year when they did that for us. So I think we use it. We get Marvin Harrison Jr. to go on the other side of DJ Moore. Obviously, that means we're keeping Fields. At number 9, I think there was... the lineman's not going to be there from Notre Dame, but I think there was a defensive guy they were looking at number 9, which at that point, whatever. And then we get to the offseason, or the after the draft. We still build the line either way, in my opinion, through the rest of the draft. Like, I don't want to see anybody else but a line the rest of the draft, either hopefully offensive line, personally. We get to the, I guess, preseason, whatever, and we have Fields, we have Harrison Jr., we have Moore. I would bet by then we'd have Saquon if we're going to get a running back instead of Josh Jacobs. Or we use that 9 pick to get Josh Jacobs. I don't know. That could be it too. But either way, we're getting either Josh Jacobs or Saquon. I would say Saquon, if anything, because we can just sign him. We don't have to worry about signing trades or any of that because he won't want to go back to the Giants.
Right.
And then we pull something out of left field with this. So I'm not going to say Kirk Cousins because he's going to want to play. And we can't we can't sit Kirk Cousins for Justin Fields. Like that would just be stupid. We can't sit Justin Fields for Kirk Cousins because that would be stupid. It'd be a waste. I I could honestly see them going out and getting Jimmy Garoppolo as a backup.
Yeah,
He's a
nice.
vet. He's not dumb.
Yeah.
He was under Brady, so he knows the game of football. He
Started Super Bowl.
started. He was under the best coach there ever was, pretty much 1A, and he teaches Justin Fields. I know it's different play styles and all that, but he teaches him the game, how to read, throwing, and things like that. And Justin Fields becomes the guy within a year.
Yeah.
And we extend him that same time. So that is what I'm hoping happens. Whether it's Jimmy Garoppolo or a different veteran, I don't care. But I hope they keep Justin Fields. I don't think that's going to happen, though. So
Yeah.
I think they might go the first route of pulling the Houston Texans and getting the first pick and trying to get back up in the top 3 and using Justin Fields in that top 3. And if the Patriots are willing for a QB, Fields isn't a bad choice. And then they draft maybe Knicks or someone later on
Yeah.
to fill that void. So that is my Bears rebuild. And we do keep Eberflus the whole year and see what happens. So that is my those are my
Yeah.
rebuild scenarios.
I like those. And it's so hard because the Bears have like options. Like, do you keep Fields and just build your offense around him? But at that point, if you're going to keep Fields, do you just take Marvin with the number 1 pick, or do you try to trade back a little bit? Like at,
I mean,
at
if we
that
could,
point, I don't know.
we can't go below Arizona, which is at 4. So it would be the Patriots at 3
Yeah,
or
and that's
2.
a hard
Doesn't matter.
and
And
that's a hard
Washington.
thing. I think 2 would probably be your spot to move just down 1 because I think the Patriots like somebody better than Caleb Williams. And if that's the case, they know they can get him at 3, so why trade
Yep.
up to 1 to get him?
Sure.
So Atlanta could try to move up, but at that point, like you're moving down for the bag next year, their number 1, and you're riding with like Malik Neighbors at 8.
Which I wouldn't complain at that either, honestly.
Yeah, because I think Arizona is going to pick Marvin Harrison. I
Yes.
think he's more than likely going to fall to 4 because unfortunately, I do think the Bears are going to pick Caleb Williams. I think they should ride with Fields. So I know I'm on the Fields train with you. Give him
I am
another
too.
year. Like, what's it hurt?
I
So,
agree.
I
So
like
that is
your. I like
that's my
I like
options.
your stuff.
I
Good stuff. I like.
either way, I do think we get a main running back in addition to
Oh,
Herbert because
yeah.
he's not bad, but I don't think he's an every down guy, which those other 2 are if they need to be. So
I think like I like. I mean, I know our segment 4, I put Barkley at Houston, but I think the Bears are a viable option,
mhm.
and I think Austin Eckler is too.
I do
So
too. I do too. So
just get him a
those are
stud
it.
back.
So
Yep.
what's the Patriots rebuild look like? GM.
All right. So it was tough for me because I had 2 to 3 different scenarios that I was trying to like do the Patriots trade up with the Bears so they can get Harrison and we can take Caleb Williams.
Mhm.
But I was trying to be a little realistic, and I think the Patriots are set at sticking at 3 and picking their guy. Do they go get Marvin Harrison at 3? Do they pick Drake May, Jaden Daniels? I liked at first I was writing it down and I was like, all right, we're gonna go get Marvin Harrison at 3 and sign Kirk Cousins for a couple years and draft like Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy.
Mhm.
But Knicks doesn't pass Denver at 12. JJ would be the guy. I like JJ a lot. But I couldn't make it work. I was trying to look financial stuff, and I was like, I can't make it work with the guys. I think I kind of want them to sign. So we have 78 million in cap. We're going to sign Ezekiel Elliott back to be the number 2 back.
Okay.
Resign our safety Kyle Duggar. He's going to get 3 years, 40 mil, more than likely. We need a number 2 corner to go alongside of Christian Gonzalez, our rookie stud. So I think they go and sign for the second time Stephon Gilmore.
Yep.
Give him a 1-year deal, $10 million signing back. We have no tight ends under roster, so we're going to bring Hunter Henry back, 2-year deal. Both of our offensive tackles are free agents. Trent Brown's not coming back. We don't want him back. He doesn't want to be back. That's fine. So, but Michael Onwenu, he's probably the best tackle outside of Tyron Smith available. We're going to sign him 4 years, $75, $80 million. He's going to be our big free agent signing, but he's got to be. And then we're going to sign Mike Evans, of course. 2-year, $50 million. Got to have him. Got to have the true number 1 for what we're building here. We had 3 receivers in the top 10 and couldn't get open last year. Juju Smith-Schuster, Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki. Gesicki's a free agent. We're cutting Juju. We're cutting Devontae Parker. All those guys have got to go. They're awful. And then we're going to re-sign Kendrick Bourne, coming off an ACL injury, but he's our number 3. Pop Douglas is our number 2. He's our slot guy. Mike Evans is number 1. So offensive side of the ball so far, Zeke and Ramondre Stevenson, trading Mac Jones, by the way. Mike Evans, Kendrick Bourne, Pop Douglas, tight end Hunter Henry. And then we are going to go out and sign Russell Wilson. He's going to get cut. He's going to get cut. He even came out and said he may take the minimum to sign with a new team, a contender. I think Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense for him. The Falcons still make sense, but I think he's going to come to New England and be the bridge quarterback for 1 to 2 years. I think it makes sense for the direction we're going in the draft. So going to the draft, number 3 pick, we're going to keep it. Like I said, a lot of debate in my own mind with what we're going to do. But we're going to draft Jaden Daniels with the number 3.
Ooh.
I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback prospect in the draft. Caleb Williams has a lot of question marks, more with his dad being the management guy.
Yep.
Bad. I don't like Drake May either. I think he's got a ton of flaws. He's real inconsistent. Jaden Daniels is the guy, but give him half the year, a full year to sit behind Russ, learn how to be professional, learn a few things. I think it works out great. And then second round, got the number 3 pick in the second round. We're going to pick Patrick Paul, the offensive tackle out of Houston, to go alongside Michael Onwenu. Patrick Paul's the second biggest tackle outside of Joe Alt. So I like that. Third round, going to have to go receiver, just to kind of bridge between Kendrick Bourne, the future. Bourne can come in, be the 2, 4, 3, whatever. But get a young guy. Donnie Mitchell, Keon Coleman, Roman Wilson, one of those 3 guys. They'll be around. Fourth round, Blake Corum. He's an older guy. He's 24, so he's taking a beating in college. We don't need him to be the every down back. We got Ramondre. We have Zeke, but Ramondre can't stay healthy. Zeke is getting older. He's taking a beating. Get Blake Corum in there. Get him some touches. I like Blake Corum in the 4th. And 5th round, Zach Zinter, the guard from Michigan. this past year, obviously his best year.
Yeah.
No sacks allowed, no quarterback hits allowed, only 5 quarterback pressures in all of their games, and they play in the Big Ten. So
Yes.
or Big 12, Big Ten, yeah,
Big
Big
Ten.
Ten. So a lot of talent. Only give up 5 pressures, no sacks, no hits. He's a
Yeah,
professional.
he's it.
Get him in the fifth and 6th round draft a kicker. Our kicker sucks.
Nice.
Drafted him last year, but he's terrible. Cut him,
Yep.
start fresh, whatever. Kind of like an alternative scenario if we would draft Marvin Harrison at 3,
Mm-hmm.
trade back into the first round, move a second for next year, our second this year, or second and a third next year, whatever you have to do. Get back in the first round, draft JJ McCarthy. One of those 2 options. I like McCarthy a lot. I think he's really going to surprise people at this pro day and the combine. He's running a pro style system for hardball.
Yes.
So I think he's a pro. I like him. Him and Marvin Harrison, but I think Jaden Daniels is almost a lock at 3 going to New England. So that's my rebuild. We're going to run Jaden, Mike Evans, have a rebuilt O-line, rebuilt receivers, contention for the division in 2 years.
Okay. I like that. I do. That's not too bad. Jaden Daniels, he looks good, and he did it in the SEC, so he did it against the best. So I like that pick. Drake May, Drake May. He's got, or no, is that his name?
Yeah, Drake May.
Drake May. Okay, I'm confused with his brother sometimes. So, I could see bust with him a lot. Unfortunately, I mean, I like the kid, but I could see bust. And then Caleb Williams is just he's talented, but his head is I don't know. I don't know. And his agent, it's just not a good mix, I don't think.
Yeah. And that's what with Williams, I watched something earlier and I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about him and how he doesn't even have an agent. He has 2 managers, one being his dad.
Yep.
And so they're like, with him not having an NFLPA approved agent, like his dad's trying to go around the rookie contract and being like, hey, just go ahead and give him a big contract. Like he wants ownership, which active players aren't allowed to have ownership. So his dad's the cancer. I like Caleb Williams. I like his game. I like how passionate he is. But I think his dad is a huge, huge issue in that. And it messes with his mentals, I believe, as well. So if he can get away from that, I think he has a chance to be awesome. But
he does. It's just, how do you get away from your dad? Like,
his
that's
upside, his upside's the highest out of everybody. His ceiling is, but his floor is super low. I think he's got bust written all over him.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, his ceiling's Patrick Mahomes, but
could be.
I think he could fall.
So Chicago has seen this before, not in football, but Derrick Rose in basketball had a brother that pretty well got him kicked out of Chicago because of what he said and what he thought Derrick felt and all this. And it's like, I see this with Williams, and it's like, Chicago's not going to like it. We've already been there with another, and that was our guy. He was from Chicago, Derrick Rose. Like he was it. And a guy coming from USC making $10 million in the last 2 years, that's the wrong city to do it. And to me, if you put his highlights up, and I know it's college and pro, so it's a little different. You put his highlights up from his years, and you put Fields' highlights up, even in college, say, talent-wise, there's not much different. Williams might be smarter in the NFL. I don't know. But talent-wise, it's a lock. Like what we've seen Williams do, Fields is done in the pros. Like he's ran all over the place. He's escaped tackles. He's thrown. He's done all this stuff. So that's why I'm a big Fields guy because this Williams, it's the same thing. Like one, we're starting over again, and then two, he could be the same guy that we replace, and then we let everyone's like, oh, if we trade away and miss on Caleb Williams, it's like missing on Patrick, Mahomes. Well, Fields might be Mahomes. How do we know? Fields goes to Pittsburgh, he's a totally different guy and team. Just with
Yeah.
the ownership, the leadership in Tomlin, the faith, and the biggest thing with Fields that hit hard was the city wants him. Like the signs,
Players there want him.
players want him, the city wants him. Like for once, listen to him. Like take a chance. Like okay, we've already missed out on Patrick Mahomes. He's the best. Like what? Like
Yeah.
okay, Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have been Patrick Mahomes in Chicago. Like I hate to tell people that, but he wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's all based on the system. So
And that's the thing. Like if you draft Caleb Williams and let's say he's your he's your franchise quarterback, but
yeah,
he's not the guy you think he is.
hmm
He's a good quarterback, get you to the playoffs, but he's not going to win you games. Let's say he's as good as Lamar Jackson is.
yeah,
Get you to the playoffs, great numbers, but he just isn't the guy
yeah.
to get you over the hump. You draft him. What else have you missed out on when let's say you draft Marvin Harrison number 1?
hmm
Probably the best wide receiver prospect since Jerry Rice.
Yes.
Like
And he's been a pro.
he's
He is a pro.
he knows how to be a pro because
Yes,
his dad.
exactly.
He's 6'4". He's got amazing feet,
Yep.
great route runner, great hands, and that's what they were talking about him today. Again, they were like, he's the guy that no matter what, after practice, was working the jugs machine, catching passes,
Yes.
whether it was he was injured or not. Like, dude's a professional.
Yep.
He's gonna be as soon as he gets drafted, he's a top 7, top
Yeah.
5 wide receiver in the league automatically. How
Yeah.
can you pass on that at
Yeah.
1?
He's the
Like
lock.
it's he is. You go get him and then you you draft him and Fields doesn't work out. Like
Yeah.
what are you missing? What's the hurt? Because next year you come back through. There's not going to be another Marvin Harrison in
No.
5 years.
No.
There's going to be another quarterback that there's an old generational. You've got Shadur Sanders.
Arch
You've
Manning.
got Arch Manning.
Yeah.
You've got
They're here.
loads of talent that are going to continue to flow through.
Yeah.
There's going to be franchise guys. There's not going to be another Marvin Harrison for a very long time.
Yeah.
Get the guy who's going to be the
The
guy.
guy. Yes.
Pair him up with DJ Moore. Pair him up with Saquon Barkley, a rebuilt offensive line.
Yep.
Your defense is already looking better. Get the guy. It's simple.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
It is simple. Like, and the team that we got their OC and quarterback coach from came from the Seattle Seahawks. Well, what do they have? They have 2 lights out receivers. They got Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, 2 generational wide receivers. So, and Geno Smith, for God's sakes. If they can make Geno Smith the guy that he was, if Fields becomes Geno Smith, we're playoffs and probably competing for an NFC title. Might not win it.
Yeah.
But if Fields becomes him with Fields' talent, we're then the
You
NFC
can make
title.
noise.
We might win it all, but we're for sure in the NFC title. And that's why I think just based off of last year, they're going to make the wrong decision this year because they made the right one last year. But all hope aside, I know polls said he will take everything into consideration with Fields, and obviously he's going to do his due diligence. But I feel I feel they're all leaning towards Fields, and I know the offensive coordinator said what brought him to the Bears was the good players that were already here, including the quarterback. So I
Keep
don't
the
know. I have a
run.
good feeling, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Again, we ran a little long, but we have a lot of opinions. What can we say? There are teams.
That's
So
right.
if you want, hit them with the outro again.
All right, sounds good. So we just want to thank everybody for tuning in, however and wherever you may be listening. If you like the content you're receiving, hit the follow, subscribe button, Apple Pod, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. You know where to find us. Tune in next week. Peace.